you gonna go see the Freakier Friday movie?
Oh no, I couldn't. Too freaky for me. Freakier? Freakier than the first one? No, I can't. The first one was freaky enough. This one? Oh, no. I couldn't take how freaky that is. 4 people switching bodies? I'm not gonna know what's going on. I can't keep track of all that. I don't want to have to think that much.
Going into Freakier Friday, I was a tad skeptical. I love the original 2003 movie. It's a really fun body swap story with great performances from Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. It's also really sweet at the same time, but more importantly, it's incredibly funny.
Oh, you can walk from here.
It's 20 blocks.
Fresh air will do you good.
But what about bullies?
Run fast.
However, if you must do a legacy sequel to it, then I guess now's not a bad time. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis won an Oscar a couple of years ago, and Lindsay Lohan's doing movies again. Her cameo in that Mean Girls musical movie last year was probably like the best part.
Why can't I remember anything about limits?
Honey, I don't know your life.
And as great as the original is as a standalone movie, a sequel could actually really work. Unfortunately, the trailers leading up to this movie's release didn't really leave that much of an impression on me. The most they did for me was getting a Chappelle Roan song stuck in my head, and I don't want to have that stuck in my head. I was actually kind of worried that this wouldn't end up being any good. Until a few days before release, I started hearing really positive things about it. So naturally, my anticipation for it spiked massively. So I went opening day at 10:30 AM in the morning, that's the earliest screening they had, and there were a few children at the back of the cinema, like a few nostalgic adults, I'm guessing. And what did I think of this prequel? Well, I guess you're about to find out, unless if you already follow me on Letterboxd, then you already know. You know, something I noticed is that the setup here is way more complicated than it was in the original movie. Okay, so now Anna is in her 30s, she was a teenager from the first movie, and she has a daughter of her own. She's called Harper, and she's having troubles at school with a lab partner that she finds very annoying. Lab partner's name is Lily, and she supposedly thinks she's better than everybody else just because she's British. That's really not how it works. There's an incident, and Anna goes to the school, and she immediately falls in love with Lily's father, Eric. There's like a cool time-lapse montage thing showing what they've been doing. Quite a bit of time passes. Now they're getting married to each other, and Harper really doesn't want that because they'll end up moving to London if they go through with the marriage. And Lily doesn't want to be Harper's sister. At the bachelorette party, there's a psychic that gives them readings and briefly has a creepy voice, and the following Friday, they of course switch bodies, with Anna switching bodies with her daughter Harper, and Lily switching bodies with Anna's mother Tess. Well, that was a mouthful just to describe the setup. The stuff that goes on before the body swaps actually happen kind of pales in comparison to the rest of the movie. Like, I'd say the second half of the movie is marginally better than the first half. I don't know, maybe it takes some getting used to. I'd say the jokes that missed the most were definitely in the first 20 minutes. Also, it can be a tad predictable at times. Like, come on, I knew what would happen in the third act. I've seen this type of wedding story before. I've also seen some people say that this looked like a Disney Plus original, and I'm not going to disagree with them, but I will say it kinda did make it feel a bit more like a 2000s comedy. Is that weird to say? Okay, now onto the stuff that I actually liked about the movie. Okay, first off, best part of the movie, definitely the performances. Like, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are still amazing in this. I felt that they sold that they swapped bodies with teenagers really well. There's a really funny running gag where Lily is horrified by what old people have to go through. Jamie Lee Curtis definitely had the best jokes in the entire movie here.
You know what? I'll give you your privacy. I'm just gonna go look for music for old people. You know, really old. Like Coldplay.
The performances from newcomers like Julia Burtis and Sophia Hammonds are also really good. I don't know, man, it's just a really fun movie. It's fun getting to see what the characters from the original are up to now. Whether it be Anna raising her daughter and also having an upcoming wedding, Tess now has a podcast, and Jake also owns a record store. That's nice. Heck, even the teacher from the first movie is back. He also played the villain in the first live-action Garfield movie, and I was thinking about that every time he was on screen.
What will you be having today? Salmon, steak, or lasagna?
Steak. I hate lasagna.
There's a scene early in the movie where like a massive food fight occurs at the school, and it like actually manages to make it fun and kind of interesting, like it's a war. They rub food on their face like it's war paint. That was really funny. There's a particular sequence that's one of the funniest parts of the movie where Harper in Anna's body is trying to flirt with Jake at the record store in order to try and cancel the wedding. Definitely funnier than it is in the trailer with the context of what's actually happening in the movie. It's also generally presented better. During that scene, they play Baby One More Time by Britney Spears while Lily in Tess's body is hiding behind the Britney Spears album In the Zone. It's actually kind of cool, I guess. I guess now would be a good time to bring up the soundtrack soundtrack and kind of the licensed music. They played like a Chapo Bone song that was in the trailer, like Hey Joe TTOGO, Hot to Go, or whatever the f it's called. They also play another one during like a photo shoot montage. It was the same one that was in the Gabby's Dollhouse movie trailer. I hate that I know that song best for that. There's a nice montage in which Anna and Tess are enjoying being young again because of the body swap, and they like get to do stuff that they usually can't do, and they play Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls in the background. And I actually really like that song, so it just kind of made that scene even better for me. There's a lot of jokes about like, you know, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, you know, those kind of jokes, which I would usually dislike, but this movie somehow makes them work. Probably down to the performances and also the directing too. The movie can be surprisingly sweet at times. I mean, the original was too, but there's like this whole thing with Harper finding out stuff about her mother. And also, Harper and Lily do end up getting along and forming a bond. Harper also finds out that her mother does actually care about her, as well as her father-in-law to be Eric. The way they swap bodies in this one is like way weirder than the original. It happens because of a psychic, and like they didn't even know that they could do that. They go and confront her later on, but she's just kind of useless, so I will admit there is a really funny joke involving her. There's also another really funny scene involving a pickleball game. I'm not going to spoil every joke in the movie for you, because I think you should go watch it for yourself. I've heard some people complain that it's too long, as the runtime is like borderline 2 hours, around an hour and 50 minutes. I disagree. I thought it actually benefited the movie, kind of. Like, it gave it more time to improve from the kind of okay-ish first act. I also gave more time to reintroduce the characters and develop them. They started doing the exact same thing they did in the climax of the original, which made me worried, but then they stopped it and did something else instead, and I thought that was really sweet, what they did instead. There's an original song called Baby, performed by Lindsay Lohan and Julia Butters, that I really enjoyed. But by far, the most important part of this entire experience is that Pink Slip reunited. If Pink Slip was doing a concert, then I would definitely go to that. Also, you'll probably be happy to know that they do indeed perform Take Me Away again. Oh yeah, and there's also bloopers in the end credits, and also they say thank you for seeing the movie. Thanks for saying that, Lindsay, I guess. There's also a mid-credits scene before that follows up on a joke earlier in the movie, which I appreciate, so just don't leave immediately. Anyway, with all that said, I thought Freakier Friday was a really solid sequel. While I'm hesitant to say it's better than or even on par with the first, it manages to recapture the charm of the first, while simultaneously being really funny and also quite heartfelt at the same time. But above all else, it's just a really fun time, which, let's be real, is something we could really all do with right about now. It was everything I wanted it to be and more, and I'm personally glad it released in cinemas. If there's something I've been reminded of this month, is that it's nice to have a good laugh with an audience at your cinema. With both this and the new Naked Gun. I sadly couldn't review that a couple weeks ago because talking consistently for a long time probably would have killed me, but I did have a great time with it. I'll probably cover it sometime in the future, maybe. Anyway, in terms of Freakier Friday, I definitely recommend going to see it in the cinema while it's still playing there. It opened with around 28.5 million in second place, just behind Weapons. I don't know what that movie is or meant to be, but I'm happy for them, which isn't bad, I guess. You know, the advertising for this movie referred to this as a prequel a couple times, like they're the f***ing Alvin and the Chipmunks sequel. I stole that for one of my Letterboxd reviews. Follow me, please. You know, it is nice to see Lindsay Lohan doing better than she used to now. Ah, shit, I've got nothing new to watch in the cinema until October. Okay, well, yeah, there is this, but I don't know if I'll be able to make a review out of this at all. So I haven't uploaded in a couple of weeks because I've had a sore throat. Like I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't have been able to talk like consistently for a long time, like I'm kind of doing in this video, because I have like multiple takes, as shocking as they may seem considering the quality. I know that Polygram thing won the poll, so I guess I'll try getting started on that, though I can't promise it will be anytime soon. Also, Princess Diaries 3 better be a banger considering how Freakier Friday turned out. Don't let me down. So, if Freaky Friday can get a sequel 22 years later, then does that mean we're getting Herbie fully loaded in 2027? Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time, whenever that may be. Farewell. I mean, goodbye.